All In is done. So let's cross it out and see what happened. Come on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CrossYouOut podcast. And of course, I am your host, Eric Cross. And in today's show, well, it's Sunday. You know what that means. It's All In from London, Wembley Stadium, packed house for AEW. Ladies and gentlemen, I am over the moon of this history-making non-WWE promotion that has made history in professional wrestling. Let's first things first. Let me see if I can find the actual number of AEW attendance. Wembley Stadium attendance. Let's see. All right. So, as of right now, or as of the show being done, since the show is done right now, man. Oh, man. Wow. So, the tickets sold. The attendance is done. The attendance is 81,035. Holy shit. Beats out the record for WWE. It was 80 I think 80,045 or something like that. 400 something. For I think this year's WrestleMania, or last year's, excuse me. This is absolutely incredible. I have said on this show that I am friends. I have known Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, for many years. I have wrestled Nick Jackson on occasion, which was absolutely one of my favorite matches of all time. What else? I mean, most of the roster, Scorpio Sky. I've known most of these people that have started AEW. And I'm absolutely 100% so proud of the Young Bucks and this truly monumental experience that they get to experience. And as me, as a fan, because that's what I am now. I'm a fan. I'm one of you guys. It is what it is. But to see Nick and Matt Jackson from bingo halls to VFW halls, to Wembley Stadium. Or I can even say from backyard to Wembley Stadium. That is absolutely incredible. Nick and Matt, I really hope you see this. If you don't, it is what it is. But I do hope you see this. I'm very proud of you guys. This is a big deal. Huge deal. And I am very, very proud of you guys. The show itself, again, some things I wouldn't have done, some things I would have. Let's go down the list right now. MJF and Adam Cole versus Aussie Open for the ROH World Tag Team titles. Um, this is the first match um, to open Wembley Stadium. Um, and honestly, I wouldn't have put my main event first um, to see what would happen because they take the risk of going in there and getting injured before the match, and it's it's just a risk. But as a wrestler, I can honestly say I've wrestled somewhere in the middle of the card and then went to go on and wrestle in the main event right after. Um, but it's one of those things where you take the risk. But MJF and Adam Cole, they pick up the victory. They are now the new ROH World Tag Team Champions. Um, and good for them. It was bound to happen where Tony Khan had to put um, someone with a bigger name besides Claudio. Claudio as the world champion is a good idea. Um, but it was bound to happen where you're going to have other names, bigger names, be your champion, like Samoa Joe as well. So it's great. Another match that was on the dark hour, or I forget what they called it. Um, Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I had to do something real quick on the edit. Anyways, this match was Hook versus the champion, the FTW champion, Jack Perry, or formerly known as Jungle Boy. But they went out there and they had a match, and they had a FTW rules match, which pretty much went into a false count anywhere match, or pretty much a street fight, but pinfalls in the ring. Um, Man, there is a lot of shit happening already that is while the show was going on after these next two matches. So let me get through these two. Um, Jack Perry comes out in a limo. I guess a certain kind of limo. It wasn't a huge, one of the regular size limos. It was one of the lower end ones, I guess. Um, but comes out, they're brawling on the limo. They do a brainbuster off the top of the roof. Jack Perry does the Rolling Thunder from the roof onto the hood of the car, or onto the hood of the limo, and then proceeds to knock on the window and say, "This is real glass." And he said something else, basically referring to the the heat, I guess, or the issues that he's had with CM Punk, for wanting to use glass in a promo. Punk wanted Jack Perry to use, I guess, the sugar glass or fake glass, but Jack Perry wanted to use real glass, and that was pretty much a shot to CM Punk. But Hook, throughout this match, they both got a little busted open because of the glass. I think Hook hit a T-bone suplex, or he had hit an overhead suplex, one of the two, that got Perry his arm cut up, and I think Hook's arm as well. But Hook does pick up the victory on this, and he becomes the FTW champion. Um, let's see. So the show starts, and it is CM Punk versus Samoa Joe. And this was for the real world heavyweight title, I guess. And this started the show. So there were a lot of fans mixed for CM Punk. Um, it was a good back and forth match. CM Punk picks up the victory on this. Um, the only reason I'm not going into depth on this match and probably some of the other matches is just because there is a lot of matches to get through. But the main thing I wanted to talk about right here was during, I believe, the Stadium Stampede match, or I believe it was the Kenny Omega match, which was, I think, their second match. But what was going on backstage was a lot of drama. We can't have an AEW show without any drama. So what had happened, I guess, was that Jack Perry and CM Punk actually got into a shoving match, I guess, from what they're reporting right now, that CM Punk and Jack Perry got in a little argument and started shoving each other because of um, Perry's comments about the glass. Um, so this guy is so toxic. CM Punk is just I don't know what is going on here, but this is ridiculous. This is too much. Um, you have to understand that CM Punk is a toxic person to be in that locker room. But I, it is what it is, I guess, at this point. Tony Khan thinks that he can run this shit with all the money that CM Punk is bringing in. But at the same time, CM Punk is so toxic for the backstage area. So it is too much. It is very too much. So give me one sec. I will be right back. And I'm back. All right. So despite all that shenanigans, we continue on. Um, we go to Juice Robinson, Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, and Takeshi versus Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and Kota Ibushi. And it was, honestly, I'm going to be honest about this match. This match did not need to happen, did not need to go down. And it was more of a type of match that was just thrown together just to put them on the show. And that's what some of these matches were. And I understand the fact that Bryan Danielson got hurt, and that was supposed to be the big main event. Danielson, Kenny Omega, um, but you know things happen, stuff like that goes down. So it is what it is. But again, this match really shouldn't have went down. Bullet Club Gold pick up the victory. So it. I guess it is what it is. We go into the next matchup. The tag team titles are on the line right here between two of the best tag teams of all time. FTR, bang bang, versus the Young Bucks. And this match, at times, a little clunky, a little. off their footing for just a few seconds. But other than that, it was still a great match. FTR pick up the victory on this, and it was a great match, hands down. You know, let's go to the best friends, Orange Cassidy and Eddie Kingston and Penta Seo Miedo. I know I said that wrong. Versus the Blackpool Combat Club and Santana and Ortiz. Um, this you knew this was going to be crazy, and this was going to be off the hook. Most of the Stadium Stampede matches are absolutely insane. So this was going to happen. A lot of plunder, a lot of violence. The, John Moxley pulled out the skewers, the little you use for what is it? What are they called? Oh my god! Oh no, I can't remember what they're called. But the skewers, where you put the meat in between with all the vegetables and stuff. Anyways, kebabs. There you go, kebabs. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Anyways, um, he brings out the skurs and he gets it planted into his head. It was absolutely very very skittish, if you ask me. Um, it was it was bad, but it was still a good crazy ass match. The best friends pick up the victory. Orange Cassidy, Superman punches with glass on his hand onto Cesaro and Claudio Castagnoli. Sorry, and picks up the victory on that one. All right, so we go into the women's world title match. Saraya versus Akara Shida versus Tony Storm versus Britt Baker. This was a homecoming for Saraya. Saraya came out with her family, her mother, her father, I believe her brother, and a couple other people, I guess, of her family. Uh, this was a big deal for her. Back home in London, never hasn't wrestled in London for I think almost the whole entire time she's been out here in America. So that that's crazy. Um, we did see the implosion of um, the whatever their group was. Um, uh, Ruby Soho comes out and tries to interfere, and she gets slapped by Tony Storm, and I don't know. The finish kind of was a little clunky. I think they were just waiting for something. I know they were waiting for it, but they were waiting for Saraya and Tony Storm to get up. Britt Baker had Akara Shida trying to get her into the lockjaw, and they just took way too long to get into position for the finish. But Saraya picks up the victory, and she is now your new women's champion. Um, which I don't understand why they put the belt on Akara Shida if they were gonna do this finish, But it is what it is, I guess. um, Darby Allin and Sting. It's Sting versus Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage. Um, this was, I'm pretty sure, a big moment for Sting. Being in a sold out crowd in in Wembley Stadium and getting to wrestle. Um, it was an okay match. It was a coffin match, and Darby and Sting pick up the victory. What can I say about it? And then we go into a match that should not have happened. And I wasn't really paying attention to this match, not just because Jericho should not be wrestling this kind of caliber wrestler at this point in his career, but you know what can I say? It is what it is. Uh, Will Ospreay versus Chris Jericho. Jericho coming out and getting to perform with Fozzy in Wembley. I'm pretty sure that was something big he wanted to do, and I'm pretty sure he wanted to wrestle Ospreay as well. But for me, it was I really didn't pay attention to it, so I have really nothing to say about it. But Will Ospreay picks up the victory, and the correct victory, might I add. So we go into the trios tag team title match, or the trios title match, excuse me. So the trios title match was the Acclaim the Acclaim and Badass Billy Gunn versus the House of Black. And it was an okay match. It was okay. The Acclaim and Badass Billy Gunn pick up the victory. They are now your new trios champions. Great. I mean, really, what can I say? They went out there and they put it out there, so they deserve it. And now we go into the main event of the evening in Wembley, sold out crowd. MJF versus Adam Cole. This whole storyline with them being frenemies and who's gonna backstab who, and what is really gonna happen. It was just too much, overly done. As I think the best way to say it. Honestly, I felt like this should have been just a straight up one-on-one matchup with no really big story behind it, but they wanted to make it into this can they coexist type of thing. Now they're the best friends of all time, and to me, I really, for the way it finished, it shouldn't have went down like that. Well, first it had a double pin for a draw finish. Adam Cole goes on the mic, says, give me 5 more minutes. We need this in Wembley Stadium. He said, we're going to do this until one of us one of us pins each other. MJF says this, and they keep on wrestling. And, we have a ref bump. We get Roderick Strong to come out and help Adam Cole, and then Adam Cole turns around and tells Roddy to get out of there, and by that time he gets a small package or a roll up, and 1, 2, 3. I didn't want to see that as your main event for Wembley Stadium finish. I don't want to see a roll up. I want to see an actual fought victory. But that's what we got. So, but hands down, Wembley Stadium, AEW All In, to me was actually a really good show. Some things, again, I wouldn't have done. Some things I would have, but at the end of the day, they get to make wrestling history and sell out or sell a lot of tickets to a stadium that has been, or actually a country, has been yearning for wrestling, for big time wrestling. So, that is your All In review. Um, what can I say? It was a great show. Again, things I didn't like, things I did, but I for me, I give it a 10, 10 out of 10. It was a great match. It was a great show. So, if you have not seen it, go out, go try to purchase it, pick it up, do whatever you can to watch these matches. It was a really good show. So, and I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So, we will be back either next week or the week after. Again, we'll see how everything goes. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, cross out. Good night, everybody.